Howdy folks, thanks for coming here and checking out this Fallout 76 video. So as Fallout Day has come and gone, we were treated to a bunch of exciting new information surrounding some of the new upcoming features coming to the game, and to be specific, information relating to playable ghouls in 2025. As we've already covered a lot of the information that's already out there relating to playable ghouls, from Datamine perks, how the new questline will work and much more, today we're going to be focusing primarily on the information revealed during the Fallout Day broadcast. For those who might have missed my last video covering playable ghouls and everything Datamine, you can check that out by clicking on the link on the top right hand corner of the screen, or if you want to, down in the description. However, sit back, soak up the rads as we discuss some of the new information that was revealed. During the showcase, the team gave us a sneak peek into some of the new perks that we'll be able to unlock once we decide to transform into a ghoul. As mentioned by John Rush, creative director on the game, it's now been officially confirmed that these new suite of ghoul perks will work alongside the existing perks that we already have. It is clear from the outset that these new suite of perks will really change how we allocate our perk points and how builds will be put together. Understandably, that from the clip shown on screen, and for the purpose of the showcase, the perks allocated were mainly to showcase some of the unique features of these cards. But when you look down the road and consider how these perks will be incorporated into existing builds, such as commando builds, heavy gunner builds, and so on, it really illustrates that you will need to consider this change carefully. The reason I say this is that, and it's probably music to a lot of people's ears, is that it does look like that these new playstyles being integrated look to challenge a lot of the commonly used builds that we already see players using, and dare I say it, some of the meta builds. As we've seen from some of the Datamine info out there already, we've seen that cards such as Breathe It In was originally listed as rad resistance is reduced by 50. However, it looks like this card was updated in the showcase to reflect that rad resistance is reduced by 100. So taking into account for builds like low health bloodied builds, and one of the core aspects for that build to really work is that you need to stay in and around 20% health to benefit from the increased damage buff and boost your special stats from unyielding armor and so on. And with playable ghouls now relying heavily on radiation to fully benefit from being a ghoul, perks like this really bring home the message that a lot of commonly used builds might find it difficult to migrate over to this new playstyle. Another way to look at this, and to quote John Rush's interview from Gamescom, he does mention the following: you have 100% radiation resistance, which may not sound like a huge deal, but if you think about it, a lot of people wear power armor to stave off radiation. So if I'm a ghoul and I don't need to do that because radiation doesn't hurt me, it actually helps me, then I don't want to wear power armor. And so with the existing suite of perk cards alone, that frees up like 9 perk points. It's a whole different playstyle on its own. So it's safe to say that if you mainly only run with one character who's either spec'd into low health, maybe even heavy gunner, you might need to consider approaching this change in a different way, or possibly create a new character specifically for becoming a ghoul, but we'll only learn more once playable ghouls are available to playtest over on the PTS. We had previously seen that we would be getting the following perks, however around the time this information was datamined, unfortunately we didn't have any clarity on their specific attributes. However, from the showcase, we can now see that some of the perks will work in the following way. Glowing 1, you passively provide glows to nearby ghouls in your party when you're highly radiated. Radiation power, expend a small amount of glow, 5 glow per hit to deal 10% bonus damage to targets. Brick wall, you're now immune to staggering. Battle genes, while in combat gain 1 HP per second, and just something I wanted to point out. Does anyone else think that the pistol seen in the artwork of this perk bears a striking resemblance to the Plasma Defender from Fallout New Vegas? No? Just me? Something to possibly consider maybe. We can also see Bone Shatterer, your melee attacks have a 40% chance to cripple a limb, and Glowing Gut, consuming food and drinks now inflicts 200% more rads. We can also see from the perk layout seen in the showcase that perks like Thick Skin, United Ordeal, and Arms of Steel have now all been confirmed as perks that will be available. However, we've yet to get more clarity around perks such as Radioactive Strength, which was shown in that perk build but no description was seen, and also Powerful Presence, but I'm sure in time we'll find out more. Just to touch on it briefly, it's interesting to see how some of these unique features on becoming a ghoul will really change the dynamic for future combat scenarios, and how players who become ghouls will really play an important role in the future. For example, and as mentioned by John Rush, you will need to keep an eye on the new feral meter instead of hunger and thirst. However, becoming feral and turning into a crazed berserker who can rip the face off a Deathclaw, and also being immune to staggering from enemies, really illustrates that existing existing and future content such as world boss events, the upcoming Vault Raids mode, and probably other modes in the future will really benefit the gameplay environment from a team-focused standpoint. For example, consider how easy event objectives like Radiation Rumble will be if you have at least 1 or 2 Ghoul players. Moving on, and it's also been confirmed, as I know some people were asking in the comments in my last video, yes, we will be able to customize our Ghoul characters. As seen in the showcase, we will be able to customize our Ghoul's appearance, from different hairstyles and so on. But there's one aspect of this that I noticed Bill Lacosta mentioned.
For Ghoul players who still want to complete storyline quests with factions that normally wouldn't ally with a Ghoul, there may be a way to fool them.
So it does look like that there will be a way to possibly bypass certain faction-specific quest scenarios in relation to factions that don't really take too kindly to ghouls. What that feature will be, that we don't know yet. A topic we raised in our last video was whether or not factions that we're currently allied with will become hostile once they discover that you've become a ghoul, which is yet to be confirmed. But to quote John Rush from his Gamescom interview, he stated, "For future story updates on new content going in, where you're interacting with NPCs and making decisions, being a ghoul is going to be taken into account. That will absolutely be a factor. Things will be different if you're a ghoul." However, unless I'm reading too much into this, we can briefly see in the clip from the showcase 2 ghoul characters that look to be fighting against the Brotherhood of Steel. So that theory might possibly become a reality, which does further the point that becoming a ghoul will definitely be something that you might need to consider carefully. But it's always good to know that becoming a ghoul isn't a permanent change, and that you can always revert back to your full human form at any time. One thing I was a little bit disappointed to see, and it's just sort of an immersion thing, and who knows, it might change, but I was a little bit disappointed to see that the typical enemy ghouls that we see roaming throughout the wasteland still remain hostile towards you. Now, as I've said already, that could completely change, or maybe it might be a case you need to have your feral meter at a certain percentage for little unique things like this to work. But how cool would it be if you're at events like Radiation Rumble that the glowing ghouls just breeze past you because they think that you're actually one of them? I don't know, maybe that might be a thing that's yet to be revealed. However, that's everything for today. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on the upcoming Ghoul feature and what you thought about the Fallout Day broadcast. And as always, if you found today's video informative, consider giving the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss out on future videos. Before we head on out of here for today, I need to say a huge thank you to everyone for your incredible support, because with your help, we hit one of the biggest milestones on the channel, something all of us here at Vault 93 were truly honored to reach, and especially on Fallout Day, the franchise I built my channel around. We hit 10,000 subscribers. So to all of you, our channel members and subscribers, thank you for your continued support and helping the channel to grow. It truly means the world to me, and definitely stay tuned for our upcoming celebration stream here on the channel. If you're picking up anything over on the Bethesda Gear Store and you'd also like to support the channel, you can use my creator code BT76Fallout until October 29th to receive 20% off your entire purchase. Until next time, stay safe out there in the wasteland, welcome to Vault 93, and I'll catch you all in the next video.